Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We got to consider that.
Y'all don't remember the Georgia Southern game, do you?
You know, I hope there's Bigfoot. I don't think there is.
Like rat poison. All right, so
It's Division I football! It ain't intramurals!
All right, welcome back to the Hoppy Huddle podcast. This is Jake, that's Ed, and man, we have got some crazy things that have happened. Hugh Freeze is out at Auburn. He is fired, gone, dunzo.
I literally just walked in the door from the airport being in Auburn, Alabama. I was in Auburn all weekend, flew home, just got in the door, turned on the computer to do this podcast with the latest news. And we can talk all about that game, the feeling down there. Oh man, I got a lot to say about that. Yeah. So we got the Auburn firing. We got some injury news today. I mean, Dylan Raiola is out for the season with a broken fibula. Dallas Wilson, the star freshman wide receiver for the Gators, is gone. Well, I mean, he is. When he was in, he's electric. It's a big deal for the Florida Gators.
No, I'm saying I don't know if that qualifies as injury news. That's a status.
Well, okay, it's status news.
Is he really injured? Yeah.
No, he is injured. The other one, what's the other injury news? Hold on, there was one other that hit the news just recently. I'm missing one. Raiola, Wilson.
I don't know.
Man, there's one other case. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff. South Carolina, this was the most hysterical thing of the day, Sunday. South Carolina, they fired Mike Shula. They did it within like 15 minutes before Hugh Freeze was getting fired. They're trying to slide that in under the news so nobody notices. That was hysterical. And I mean, it was so obvious what they were trying to do. Mike Locksley was fired today from Maryland.
No, I thought that was fake.
No. Hold on.
I thought that was a fake report. I thought that was fake.
Are you certain? I mean, I was in airports all day, so it was.
I could have sworn that was a fake news.
You were actually watching the NFL, weren't you?
No.
You think that's fake? Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I think that was a fake Rob Reinhardt account.
Okay, all right. So
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Okay, so we don't know. Anyway, okay, so maybe that
I have not been dialed into the Maryland coaching search.
I'm trying to look at news while I'm on conveyor belts and trying to get overpriced bottles of water at the Atlanta airport. So anyway, but it's crazy weekend, absolutely crazy.
Right. We've also got games that happened. We had some football games that occurred.
We did, and I was able to watch it.
The ACC imploded. The ACC murdered itself today. Yeah. Committed suicide by jumping off a building.
So why don't we start there? We'll get to all the.
There's also the SEC and the Big Ten implications of this, some of which are interesting as well as Big 12 title race really kind of rounding into shape with the teams that are in charge of it. But I think you're right. I think the place to start is in the ACC, where we had Miami lose to SMU in overtime, and this is entirely Mario Cristobal's fault. This is a Mario Cristobal special. I don't really know how else to break down this game except for the fact that Miami should have put them away, and they were just not aggressive in the situations that they needed to.
Yeah.
You could go back. I saw this coming in the first quarter when Miami had the ball at like the 49-yard line. Mm-hmm. It was 4th and 3. Yep. 4th and 3, and Mario just punts. And I'm like, Dad is going to come back to bite them. And they made several other negative EV decisions throughout that game that minimized their own chance of winning. Right? And
bad penalties, tons of penalties.
If you do that, combine it with penalties, sloppy play on the O-line. This is the first game where I was not impressed with Miami's O-line play.
Yeah.
Partially because their play calling was just horrendous, right? Their play calling was not varied at all. From my seat on the couch could tell you exactly what they were going to run. Basically every play. They were so predictable. And when you do that, it makes it, easier for the defense to, even if they're physically less stronger than you, then if they know what you're going to do, they can kind of get in the position before you. And all of that combined with poor game management and Carson Beck playing poorly. How many turnovers did they have? They had
let's see,
2 turnovers.
Yeah.
In
But absolutely,
crucial parts of the game.
one was absolutely critical. I mean, it led right
Yeah.
to a touchdown, and really at a point where you felt like Miami could have just taken control of that game in the first half, and it just all of a sudden gave SMU life in that first half. I mean, I was watching this whole game. You kind of felt like Miami was in control. Penalties kept them away. Stupid penalties at the end of the game led SMU to get to tie this game up. It was a disaster, and I'm. Miami may finish the year 10-2. This may be another year they finish, with a great record. And you look back and you go, okay, well, Mario's got them where they're right on the precipice. But are we really ever going to trust Mario to get them over the hump at this point?
I mean, the thing with Mario is if he can just get out of his own way, like they're an elite team. He's a great roster builder. I do think he's a good down to down technique coach. His teams seem to be pretty skilled and get lots of players drafted, but it's just they have dud games.
12 penalties for 96 yards. They're just undisciplined yesterday, and it cost.
They were very undisciplined. That's very true.
Yeah. So it's now they got a rough. Now they're not out of the playoff picture. They run the table again.
Pretty close,
but depends on what happens in the rest of the ACC. Depends on what goes on with the SEC and all the other. There are a lot of 2-loss teams that are going to become 3-loss teams. They could work their way back up.
Miami's one shot at the playoff is that all the other on the border teams kind of blow themselves up and leave the spot, and there's one spot left, and it's them or Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame head to head.
That's right.
And they
got a nice win.
They need, in order to get into the playoff, their scenario is that they have to be in a one-on-one discussion between them and a 10-2 Notre Dame. And if they do that, they will get in over Notre Dame because of the head-to-head win. And you could be like, what about Miami's a big enough brand? They'll count the head-to-head, right? If there was a lesser brand, maybe you could come with some of the bias in there. Miami's a big enough television draw, at least, where that won't be a factor. So
Notre Dame's better be rooting for USC. We'll get to USC Nebraska later. Notre Dame's better be a big fan of USC at this point because that's the only big win they got left on their account. The big win on their schedule. When you look at their wins, and they need USC to get in the playoff, be in that playoff discussion to give them some credence.
Yep.
So it really causes chaos in the ACC because lo and behold, Georgia Tech, and I could not watch. I was at the Auburn. We're going to get to the Auburn Kentucky game later.
Oh man,
all I could do was scoreboard watch Georgia Tech and NC State. And only thing I could do on that was my battery was running low because it kept refreshing constantly with the score update. You got to tell me what happened because I don't know. Georgia Tech wasn't an offensive problem. Defensively, it didn't look like they could stop them, and I don't know any more than that. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. So Georgia Tech, Haynes King rushed 20 times for 103 yards, averaging 5 yards an attempt with 2 touchdowns. He passed for 25 for 35, 71% for 400 yards, 11 yards an attempt, 2 touchdowns. Jeez. And you would come out of that thinking, wow, Haynes King just had like a Heisman level game. They must have won easily. They got obliterated. And this was not as close as the score looked, by the way. NC State moved the ball like a hot knife through butter. That Georgia Tech defense evaporated in the second half. They got absolutely no stops. They felt like NC State was gaining like 9 yards of play. There was, and by the way, this is with NC State having a bunch of their best players out. And CJ Bailey, which the NC State quarterback, which you can't tell from the scoreboard, but he was injured in the second quarter. And he could not run. He could not move. He was not mobile at all the entire rest of the game. He limped on and off the field whenever he substituted. He was a statue in the pocket. So this was he basically was like hampered. He completely could not even like walk normally. And he was just out there just throwing. Georgia Tech could not get pressure on him. You could say that the refs kind of let the lines of scrimmage play, meaning like they didn't call holding on either team the entire game. When there was some pretty obvious ones, like tackles, like they basically just tackled a guy from like the knees and he didn't call it holding, like on 5 different times on both teams. But again, that goes both ways, so that's not really an excuse in the team. But I have to say, like, I was really impressed with NC State's offense, but this is a Georgia Tech defensive collapse, and they allowed this game to get where it was. The Georgia Tech offense was very good. They ran their regular offense. Buster Faulkner was in his bag. They were calling good plays, but it kind of doesn't matter if your defense literally gets 0 stops. Like, I think, did they have 1 stop in the fourth quarter or not?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't even think they had a stop in the fourth quarter.
So this, I mean, again, not having seen the game, I can't comment on it, but now this gives me a little concern, especially with Pitt coming up. I think that Pitt game is going to Pitt's going to get real interesting because let's assume Virginia's going to lose a game. I think they probably are. Okay.
I'm just still probably get in with a 1 loss.
But then that
right now they have 0 loss in the ACC.
Well, yeah, correct. But then that puts tremendous pressure on that Pitt game. And Pitt's quarterback's been outstanding. So I think Georgia Tech's defense. Now, Georgia Tech, there's still a path for them if they beat Georgia. I mean, they're not completely out, but
they're not out now. They're 8-1.
Well, yeah, but if
they can win the ACC,
but they may. Well, they don't. They may not get in the ACC championship.
Right. But I'm saying the path is very easy. The path is just win the rest of your games for Georgia Tech.
It is, but they still may not get. Even if they win the rest of the games, they're not getting the ACC championship.
Yeah.
So that means they
have 1 loss. They have 1 loss in the ACC.
I get it, but they lose some tiebreakers, don't they? I don't know. I think
no, because who else has 1 loss in the ACC?
Pitt, Louisville, SMU.
Louisville almost lost Virginia Tech today. So
I understand almost, but they didn't. I'm just telling you things. Georgia Tech has put themselves in a bind at this point.
I don't know. I think if they win out, I think they're probably still in the ACC title game. Am I right? I don't know.
Listen, everybody in the ACC now is rooting against Virginia. I mean, that's the bottom line because
Louisville still has to play Cal, Clemson, SMU, and Kentucky. They're going to lose one of those games.
Yeah, we'll see. Louisville's what the second highest ranked ACC team. I know they got behind the Tech, but then they put it on in the second half. Georgia Tech, that was you get a mulligan, but now you've got no room for error, and it almost puts a lot of pressure on that Georgia game on Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
All right, I will speak to the other ACC game that I was kind of giving Virginia a hard time. I didn't think they'd go out to Cal and win. They did. I watched a good portion of this game. That's not an easy task for just first time Virginia's ever won on the Pacific Coast. Did you know that?
That doesn't surprise me. It's Virginia.
I know it does surprise me a bit.
It's probably the first time they've ever won, and
Cal's not terrible. I mean, they're not the best team,
Cal's
but they're
never terrible. Will Cox is a great coach.
Yeah, and that quarterback's not. Virginia played a decent game. I question. This is what drives me mad with this team, and it gets back to the coaching of Tony Elliott. It's 24-21. There's 45, 48 seconds left to go in the game. It's 4th and 2 on the 15-yard line?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you kicking the field goal to go up by 6? Cal has no timeouts. Make them go the whole length of the field with no timeouts and get a touchdown to win the game. What does he do? Elliott goes for it. He ran the play call was good. The ball was tipped by the offensive line. So now you give the ball back to Cal down 3 with 44. Now they only have to go like 40 yards to get a game-tying field goal. Fortunately, Cal, the quarterback, threw an interception. Virginia intercepted the ball.
Yeah, but I could see the way that Virginia was about to lose this game.
Oh, I was losing my mind. I think I texted
This is exactly what happens every time. This is a classic Virginia end of game blunder. And for whatever reason, it went their way this time, and it never does.
It never does. But Virginia never got behind in this game. They were up the whole time. That was very unusual. I mean, this team and the national media still is killing Virginia. Well, they just can't. wow, the games are too close. They're winning games. Isn't that the point of it? If
They're
this
15 in the country. They're the they're the
Georgia
15th
keeps
best team in the
winning
country.
close games. We don't keep dogging Georgia for winning close games. Well, I do too. But I mean, at some point, aren't we just going to give this team some credit for always finding ways to win games? I mean, I know they're not sexy. I know they're not that special, and they may still lose to Wake or Duke in the next 2 weeks. But let's give them a little love for going on the road and winning the game. They're undefeated, man. They are absolutely undefeated
in conference.
Conference play. Now, they're going to get Wake at home this week. Wake got obliterated by Florida State. That one I did not see coming.
I didn't either. I kind of thought Wake has been spicy the last couple of weeks.
They have been, and I think Dicker's had got them playing well, and they just got destroyed. I think Wake will be. I think Wake will have a little fight in them this week. It's at Virginia. That helps. The game Virginia ought to be worried about is Duke. Duke went down to Clemson.
That was an insane game. I don't know if you saw that.
I could not get my eyes on that. I understand
there was
crazy. I understand there was a late DPI call that cost.
Oh yeah,
Clemson.
People lost their mind.
But Duke's offense is gonna. My guess is Duke's offense will rip Virginia to shreds at Duke, and that's where Virginia will probably end up losing. So
yeah, but Virginia can probably score with them.
Maybe Morris is banged up. He's been hurt, and ever since he got hurt, their points per game has dropped off. So it'll be interesting to see. But let's go. We talked about the winners. Virginia's done a good job. Onward next week. Wake. They did not get game day. I think a lot of people were thinking maybe they got game day. The problem was Texas Tech and BYU.
We'll get to that.
It's a top 10
those
matchup.
are the two best teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, and I think if those two teams weren't as high ranked, I think Virginia would have had a shot at game day, but they just didn't. So anyway,
and I think
the ACC is going to be nuts. And Virginia,
ACC is a one bid league at this point. I think they blew up their chance with Miami.
It's not over yet. We don't know. There's still crazy things that could happen.
The only scenario they get two teams in would be if Georgia Tech beats Georgia and then loses in the ACC title game.
No. If Virginia gets in and only has one loss and loses to Georgia Tech in the championship game, and Georgia Tech beats Georgia,
not putting a 10-2 Virginia in.
I was listening to Ari and Andy today, and both of them agreed that Virginia would get in.
Yeah, they will not do it. They will put a 2-loss SEC or Big Ten team in over them.
But we're going to run out of 2-loss SEC teams. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to have a bunch of 3-loss SEC teams. Have you seen the SEC?
Yeah, and who's going to get in, a 3-loss Oklahoma or Tennessee or 2-loss Virginia?
Again, the committee. Wait, that's not a 2-loss Virginia team. That's a 1-loss Virginia team. Remember, they don't take into account the conference championship.
You're right. They don't, but they do. Like they will if.
I'm just telling you what the precedent they set last year.
There is no precedent. The precedent is they do whatever they want.
I understand, but I'm just telling you, and I think we're heading down that path possibly. Virginia's got to get there first. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to the SEC. Let's talk about the game I was at first, then we can get to some others.
All right. I didn't. Full transparency. This was a terrible game. I wasn't going to waste my time watching it. I didn't watch a single second of Auburn, Kentucky. So take it away.
Been to Auburn many times. Love Jordan-Hare Stadium. Great atmosphere usually. There was no energy to the stadium to start the game. These two teams were terrible offensively. This had to be one of the worst games I've ever been to. You can call it, SEC likes to call these defensive matchups. This was hot garbage. Yes, probably the defenses are good, but these offenses were terrible. Auburn particularly could not do anything. They kept Ashton Daniels played most of the game. They brought in Jackson Arnold. He was worse. They brought Daniels back at the end of the game. The students started emptying out at halftime. This was a funeral. It was a morgue. It was terrible. The vibe walking out of the stadium. Auburn should not lose to Kentucky at home ever, under any circumstances. Walking out of the stadium, the fans.
Could you say that everybody was frozen in shock?
Yeah, they were frozen in shock. They started firing. The chance for fire freeze at the end of the game. The crowd had left. Walking out of the stadium, just talking to people. Everyone was like, at least we get tomorrow, he will be gone. I mean, that was the sentiment. I was in Auburn this morning, same sentiment. Everybody was glad. I walked onto the plane today. Someone was like, oh, look, and I had my Auburn gear on. Someone was like, oh, it was a tough game last night. I was like, yeah. They're like, and the first thing they said was, hey, and big smile. At least he got fired today. I mean, so it was. I mean, I've been to a lot of college games. That was the worst. That was terrible. It was just dreadful to watch. That clock could not move fast enough. So anyway, we don't know who's going to take that job. There's some sentiment down there. DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, has done a great job. some people like to see him take that job.
I don't think that
he's
my
got
opinion that would not be a good hire, but
he's got baggage. You can go Google DJ Durgan. You can read all about the Maryland situation. If DJ were to take the job, he'd obviously have to bring in a good offensive coordinator. That could work. Summerall is the one that the other name pops up a lot. I mean, maybe they're in the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes. Who knows? But
I think Lane Kiffin turned him down before.
We don't know that. We don't know that 100%.
No. Like when they were trying to hire Freeze, it was pretty well reported that they offered Kiffin the job, or they inquired about it, and then he had trolled him on Twitter basically.
But he also thought he would have a shot at the Alabama job at that time too. Circumstances.
Yeah, they were, but I just I think from I don't know, from my perspective, I think Summerall's been the anointed one in Auburn ever since he was the Troy coach. And they just need to go prove himself, and I think he did. And I would expect him to make a move for Summerall. I think that's a good move. Kind of doing the opposite of Florida. Florida went and got the G5. Now I think they're going to go big name. Auburn went and got the big name. Now I think they'll go G5. I think that would be a good move. Summerall seems like the type of guy. He gets it, right? He's not jumping. He didn't jump at the first job opportunity that ever gave to him. I think he's also, Auburn's in a place as a program where Hugh did a lot for Auburn. I would say organizationally, like Auburn's still a chaotic job, but I think they're a lot more aligned than they were when he got there.
Yeah. And the talent's definitely much better. He brought in a lot of talent. The issue was couldn't get the offense to score, couldn't get the quarterback right, and that's the problem. So it's going to be interesting. They'll get this next month's going to be wild, and when the dominoes start to fall, we'll see. I mean, Summerall, the rumors on the street are Summerall's been interviewing with somebody this week. Same thing with Brent Key. Brent Key's name's popping up in the Penn State job now, which is interesting. Yeah,
it's very interesting.
So I don't know which of these schools, and of course Georgia Tech being in the playoff picture complicates matters.
So there's his alma mater. So
there's a lot of crazy.
Does he want to stay?
It's going to be a crazy November. I really do. But Auburn pulled the trigger. Man, it was a terrible game. But anyway, so we got rid of that one. I was able to watch a good portion of the Texas Vanderbilt game, but I have to admit I turned that one off and kind of ignored it. And then Vandy came rolling back. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about that game.
Yeah. So what happened in Texas Vanderbilt is basically the Texas team we've been looking for all year showed up. And so this is not really even discredit to Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt didn't play bad. I think Vanderbilt played the team that they are, right? And the difference is that Texas played significantly above how everyone expected that game to go, and how they've been playing the rest of the season. Arch Manning played good for the first time this season against a quality opponent. Arch Manning played like a good quarterback. The plays, the kind of wacky putt Sark offense that we've been like, oh, it's been terrible all year, suddenly started working. And I don't really know what it was. It started off, they just got a screen to Ryan Wingle on the first play that went all the way down the field for a touchdown. And so Vanderbilt kind of got game scripted out of some of their stuff. They also got some fourth down RNG that didn't hit this time. And that's been hitting a lot for Vanderbilt in other games where they go for it and they get it. And when you play that high, the variance trying to win, sometimes you lose that, right? And they missed a couple of those in key situations. I still don't think Diego Pavia is a bad. I think he played well. I mean, threw for 365 yards, 70% completion, 3 TDs, no interceptions. Like that's about his best game that you can expect from him, right? He ran the ball really well too. 43 yards. So this is not really a drag on Vanderbilt. What happened is Texas's pass rush decided we're not going to try and read the option. We're not going to try and figure out where the ball's going. We're just bigger and faster on the defense than you are. and we're just going to come at you full blitz. And
Yeah.
if you can make that read and you've got your running back and your quarterback are fast enough to get around our guys who are just running through the read, then good on you. But for the most part, Vanderbilt couldn't. And Texas's strategy of just pin your hair back, pin your ears back, just go full at them with the pass rushers, worked for most of the game. Colin Simmons was all over Diego Pavia. I think Pavia was sacked like 5 times in this game, 4 or 5 times. I think once Vanderbilt started they had to get away from the normal play style and kind of go passing. And that's when they started to come roaring back, right? They went no huddle. They went faster. They went a lot more pass heavy. And then Texas wasn't really prepared, because what have we said is the weakness of Texas the whole year, right? It's the secondary, right? That's where they're weaker. Up front, they're really strong. And so Vanderbilt kept trying to beat them up front. And then when they switched to a more pass attack, that's when they came roaring back. It wasn't quite enough. This was almost the most insane ending of the game all season, because Vanderbilt scored to make it 31-34, did the onside. It bounced off the Texas player. A Vanderbilt guy got a hand on the ball, and then it's like he was laying on the ground, hand out on the ball. It got out of his fingertips and rolled out of bounds. And on the onside kick for Vanderbilt to get the ball back. And so this was almost the most insane ending you've ever seen, but it wasn't. Good on Texas for coming out and getting a win at home. Home field advantage definitely played a part here. False starts on Vanderbilt were a consistent problem, getting behind the chains. It was the same with sacks. And so I think it kind of exposed some limitations of Vanderbilt's offenses. If they go up against a truly elite defensive line, they kind of can't run the same stuff that they've been doing. The difference is, I think Texas is the first elite defensive line that they've played so far.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, they may fade down the stretch here.
I'm not sure, because who else has a defensive line strong enough to do that? Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. I don't know.
You may be right, but I just don't. I mean, it was easy when they're playing in. I mean, you're
Missouri,
right.
I got to remember, Missouri's got a good defense too, and they struggled, but they were able to do some stuff there.
What does that put Vanderbilt can't afford another loss. Tennessee could score. I mean, they may get into. I think Tennessee could score more points, and they could just outscore them.
Right, but I think Tennessee is also susceptible to playing Vanderbilt's game if they don't have if Vanderbilt can run the ball.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
So I think if Vanderbilt wins out, they're probably in the playoff, right? 10-2.
We said yes. I think a 2-loss SEC team is probably going to get in, because I think we're going to run out of the 2-loss SEC teams here soon.
Right.
Because I don't think. I mean, we're not going to have enough 2-loss SEC teams.
There's an interesting scenario here where you have a 3-loss Texas and a 2-loss Vanderbilt, competing for.
Yeah, but Texas, you can't. I'm sorry, a 3-loss Texas team's not getting in over 2-loss Vanderbilt. That's just not going to happen.
You don't think they would count the head-to-head there?
No, because Texas lost 3 games.
Yeah, and I mean, this is assuming
and
Texas.
You got your butts whipped at Florida. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
That disqualifies you right there. You're not going to get credit for bad losses if you're losing more games. So you beat Vanderbilt by 3. You still have one more loss, and it was a bad. No, not going to go there.
Yeah, but I don't think I wouldn't. I saw somebody tweet like Vanderbilt got exposed. It's like, I don't think they really got exposed. I just think,
I don't know about exposed, but I do think
like exposed what? They're not a top 5 team, top 10 team. Sure, are they still probably? I would say 13-ish. 15 in the country. Yeah. I put them in that range. Yeah, I don't know about exposed. Like if you play that game again, and Vanderbilt makes the passing adjustment at halftime instead of the fourth quarter, like maybe they win, right? Like
I think that was a bad matchup. I picked, and I wasn't on the. Did you do a show this past week?
Yeah, I did it on Friday. Yeah, I read your picks off.
I picked Texas. I was on Texas.
I saw that, and we actually split the number there, because I got Vandy plus 3.5, and you got Texas minus 2.
I got them rolling the week at 2.5, so I felt good about that.
Right, and so we both won. Actually, that was the great win.
Yeah. So I felt good about that game all week. anyway, so it's fine. I don't know that I wouldn't pick if they played again. Even on a neutral field, I'd probably still take Texas.
Yeah, I don't know. Neutral
And
field.
real quick
Yeah.
before we get to on other things. Quietly, Arch has put together the last 3 or 4 weeks pretty good performance. I mean, he's
he
again,
played well in this game. He played really well.
He did, and he's played well the last 3 or 4 weeks. So again, I'm not ready to anoint him the second coming yet, but he's starting to play like a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
okay.
I think at this point we can probably say he's coming back, right?
Yeah, I don't think
I don't think he's getting NFL height. I think he's gonna come back, right?
I think
so.
We still got. There's a whole month of football to play, man. There's a lot. He beats Georgia and he beats Texas A&M. The NFL will call.
Right.
And that's the thing. Texas will probably lose one of those games, and that's going to be 3 losses or both. They lose both, they're out. They lose one, I still think they're out. So again, 3-loss SEC team is not getting in. There's a lot. There's still going to be two.
I mean, I think there's a scenario that could get in, just because of the committee.
The only 3-loss team that's getting in the SEC is Oklahoma because their schedule is so brutal.
Yeah.
Texas can't explain away the Florida loss. They can't explain. You can't justify that.
Yeah. Speaking of Oklahoma.
Whoa, that was a shock to me, I have to admit. And I didn't see much of that game. Although, let's talk first, before I get to anything. I did see skies out, thighs out.
What was the kicker with the shorts?
Can we wear pants now? Do we have to wear shorts? What is up to do with that? Can we just
no, what do you mean? This is a new thing. That's not a
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like that either, dude. Put
the pants back on.
Put the pants back on. This is not. The game's gone, man. What's happened to the game I love?
Yeah. Anyway, I did not see much of this game, but it seemed like Oklahoma was able to get a running game going.
Yeah, Oklahoma ran the ball. This is why I was saying Vanderbilt might do well against Tennessee. But
yeah. So again, not watching the game, but just looking at the box score and looking at a few things. And Tennessee had plenty of offense, but if Oklahoma, and I still believe Mateer, he hadn't been the same since he got injured. So, but if Oklahoma can find the rushing game and allow Mateer to get healthy, they may be able to sneak back into this thing. But right now, it's but this was a big win. They had to win this game. It was an elimination game. I thought Tennessee's now at 3 losses. I think they're basically out. Oklahoma, you're still alive, but you got a brutal schedule.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Aguilar actually played better than Mateer. Mateer ran the ball well for like 80, 85 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
But Aguilar actually played much better. The difference is Oklahoma's defense just bowed up, and Tennessee had 3 turnovers. And there should have been 2 more interceptions that were one of them was just dropped, and one of them was a bounce that was almost picked. So Aguilar played well, but Oklahoma's defense was just fantastic. They got pressure on him consistently, and even though I think R. Mason Thomas even went out partially through this game, and they still played really well. And so I mean, this is a shocker, right? Brett Venables can coach defense, complete shock. It just kind of goes to show how lucky Clemson was to have him for so long. Because he really is, still to this point, the best defensive coach in college football. And honestly, Mateer, they got a running game. They ran with Mateer. They ran some read option stuff that I think was pretty good. Kind of forced the defense to make a decision instead of just trying to run it up the center. Mateer made the plays when he needed to. Again, had like a dropped interception or 2 that could have been worse. So you think you're right about his injury. He doesn't look completely healthy. He did run the ball much better in this game than any of the last couple games.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma, if Mateer can still kind of weasel his way to win games, Oklahoma will win. If he can't, then they'll lose. And so, who's left on their schedule? They have
Oklahoma.
They have at Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. LSU they'll probably win, and Missouri will be tough, and Bama will be tough.
Well, Missouri's at home. I think they're probably favored. They're probably going to win Missouri and LSU. I think it's the Bama game. They got to win the Bama game.
Yeah.
That's a tall task.
But hey, if you're Oklahoma, you still control your own destiny. You probably do. You go to the SEC title game if you win out, right? Because you have a tiebreaker over Bama. Or Bama's only one
two
loss.
I don't know how the losses break down.
I don't know how that would work.
They'd have if they beat Bama and they went out, they got 2 losses. I don't know how that plays in because with
But there's the
Georgia,
other 2
Alabama,
lost teams.
A&M,
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I don't know. Maybe not, because Bama would have 1 SEC loss and A&M wouldn't have it. So I don't know. But if you win out, you're in the playoff pretty clearly. So
if you win out, you're in the playoff. If you lose one more, you're going to need some help. But I think if you lose one more, you're probably the top 3 loss team over Texas, believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, Texas has head-to-head.
Yeah, but that Texas loss, that's just, they got a bad loss.
Right, but if they're both 3 losses and one has head-to-head, I think you got to go with the team with the head-to-head.
Yeah, but Oklahoma's got better wins.
Right, but if they're both at 3, I think the committee will go head-to-head.
There is no way on this planet that should happen.
I think it should. Games have to matter. Like, if you beat a team, you should be, and they're the same record, then you're higher. You should be higher than them. I think it's pretty uncontroversial.
Please let's not get into the Oklahoma Texas debate on that. That would be horrible. That would
and it was pretty soundly too.
Yeah, but that was with the fear coming off an injury. I think you can explain that one away.
You're right. All right. Talk about Texas. Talk Tennessee.
Any other? Let's see. SEC. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really relevant for that yesterday.
Florida, Georgia.
Oh yeah,
dude. Georgia almost lost this. By the way,
they should have.
They should. Well, you don't know because you don't know that they would have scored after that catch.
No. But Florida was actually in control of this game. Florida played some pretty bad defense in that last drive.
You're right. Florida
and I'm trying to remember the series too. Florida tried the 4th down play was terrible. Florida. I mean, they had the lead. They went for it. I mean, it was terrible play calls there. And again, new play caller. You know, you're not used to that position, but George, you got to be better than that. I mean, they should have scored on that other drive. They would have been up 6.
Yeah.
So there was a series of stuff here at the end, not just the catch, but the fumble in the first half. I mean, the refs screwed Florida again.
I don't know. Look,
Georgia gets the benefit of all these calls. Let's just be honest here. Georgia is the benefit of more calls.
I don't know if that's being. I don't know, man. I mean, look.
Georgia's living dangerous.
Florida had opportunities to win this game that did not depend on the refs, and they blew them.
They did.
So
but the refs didn't help them.
You're right, but the refs aren't supposed to help. It's like, I don't know.
And if you're Georgia, great. You beat Florida 24-20. This is a team that just fired their coach. It's in disarray.
Well, yeah, that's my main takeaway is that Georgia keeps winning games, and you have to give them credit for winning games, just like Virginia, just like any of the other teams.
But they get credit for it. Virginia doesn't.
Well, they beat good teams. But
Florida and Auburn, they beat good teams.
Well, I don't know. Those aren't their best wins. They beat Ole Miss.
But you're telling me they're getting credit for beating good teams.
They beat Tennessee. They beat Ole Miss. Those are good teams.
I'll give you credit over those. But my point, Georgia is playing with fire. I mean, they go to Mississippi State. Mississippi State could beat them this week.
Any team on their who's left on their schedule?
Mississippi State, Texas, and Georgia Tech.
Yeah, any of those teams could beat them.
And they get Charlotte, but
they're not going to lose to Charlotte. But no, Mississippi State, Texas, or Georgia Tech could beat them. They could also win all 3. That's very possible as well.
Correct.
Right? And so with Georgia, it's kind of they're a good team in my opinion, not an elite team. And this kind of goes to like Gunnar Stockton, and they keep starting slow, right? If they could just play like they do in the second half of games, in the first half of games, then I think they could be an elite team. They're an elite second half team right now. But they're kind of a weird spot because they keep almost losing to these bad teams, but they keep winning. So you can't really blame them. They're not as, we've been saying this all year. They did kind of get beat by Florida along the lines of scrimmage for some parts of this game.
Yeah.
It was noticeable, right?
Yeah.
And they were doing some weird schemes and scheming up some receivers that got open, a couple explosives, which is good. But I'm just not confident in them as, like, I think they could make the SEC championship game. I don't think they're going to win it. I think they can make the playoff. I don't think they're going to win it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm confident in them being a good, solid team, but not really that they'll be able to beat any of the elite teams.
I mean, how close are we to instead of being 7-1, we should be almost a 5-3 Georgia team, but we're not. And that's Kirby Smart, honestly. Some of that. The refs and Kirby.
Kirby's a good coach. So I think you have to get some of that. You have to give Kirby. They don't make situationally dumb plays. Like, unlike a lot of coaches on this list, right? Unlike Mario, unlike some of these other guys that make stupid plays. They have dumb penalties all over the place. Like, if you have those, I think you probably lose 2 more of these games, if not more, right?
Yeah.
But Kirby has them. They're an army. Kirby has the machine like cooked up, ready to go. He has them ready on game day. He makes excellent halftime adjustments. Probably the best halftime adjustment coach in college football right there, Kirby, right? I mean, so a lot of that you got to give to just how good a coach Kirby Smart is, and you can't count them out of any game that they're in.
Yeah, the Georgia-Texas game is going to be a big game for both teams because it's going to determine some fates. So, November's going to be fun. We got a lot of games playing in November. It's going to be exciting. All right, let's see. Nothing else really in the SEC. Alabama was off. Let's talk about, I guess, which was probably an elimination game for Nebraska. USC went into Lincoln. Won.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3 losses. They're
done. Dylan Rail is done for the year. I think they're done. Nebraska, 6-2. It was a team I was on early in the year. I told
USC.
You. Yeah, USC. I'm sorry, USC 6-2.
I've flipped on them. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, thank you. I told you. I've been telling you all year. They're better than you think. The rest of the schedule now, they're staring at a big game in Oregon in a few weeks. I think they'll beat Northwestern Iowa, and then that game in Oregon's huge. Oregon game's huge. I mean, that's going to determine whether they're a playoff team. And
Maeva played really well.
He's a good quarterback. Yeah, I think they're going to give Oregon all they can handle in 3 weeks. I really do.
Nebraska kind of did a good job containing the offense to some degree. They only scored 21 points. The difference is that USC's defense actually held Nebraska.
It was a defensive effort. Nebraska. Yeah, and I couldn't watch all this game, but it was USC's defense that did the job,
which is a huge improvement for Lincoln Riley and this program.
And you better get them now because they have momentum in the recruiting. We've talked about this before.
They have the number 1 class coming in next year.
Lincoln has got this thing finally in the right direction.
Elite players.
They're going to be the team nobody wants to play next year and the year after that in the Big Ten, along with the other big boys.
Yeah, along with Indiana,
Michigan, and Ohio State and Oregon. But they're there. So you had your shots to get USC. You better get it now because I think and the fact that he's turning in a winning season is going to mean a lot for this recruiting class. They're not all going to stick, but most of them will. They'll probably.
They might, dude. They might stick. Nobody's decommitted yet.
USC is one of those programs, and I know, Jake, you don't remember it as much as I do, but when USC starts getting good.
I watched it 30 for 30.
You watched it 30 for 30. They have the potential to get things rolling out in California and get players. And they can turn. I mean, they're like Georgia. Once you get it going, they can bring players in.
Yeah.
So,
you
got to have the right coach. So, good for them. I didn't watch much of the Ohio State, Penn State. I mean, it looked like Ohio State was playing around early in the game, and then they kind of took care of business second half.
This was an evisceration. They weren't even playing around.
Ohio
State, again, continues to have 0 flaws. I had this on the third screen. They didn't make any mistakes in this game. Julian Sayin is the best quarterback in the country. And they probably Jeremiah Smith is the best player in the country. Caleb Downs is the best defensive player in the country. By the way, Caleb Downs had an insane game. He was everywhere here.
Yeah. Except for the targeting call they should have called, but never.
Well, yeah. But
okay, can we talk? Let's go back to Sayin for a second because for a college football podcast, we've talked the least amount of Ohio State this year, but we've got to talk about Sayin for a second. He was 20 of 23 for 316 yards, 87%. Do you know he's over 80% completion for the year? He is on pace to set the all-time record. Why is this guy not? I mean, better than Joe Burrow's season, better than any season any quarterback has ever had.
Yeah.
He has got to be the Heisman favorite at this point.
Who is?
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at what FanDuel has, but if we still start barking out about Ty Simpson, Sayin has turned this into an amazing season. Completing over 80%. And I know you're throwing to Ohio State wide receivers, but doggone. I mean, to be that effective. Yeah, I can't see Heisman winners on FanDuel because we can't bet props like that. I don't know what you can see. I
I don't know. I haven't looked, but
anyway. But
yeah, let me see.
I think we got to get to the point where he's got to be one of the Heisman favorites at this point.
Yeah, he's insane, and it's also it's not just him, right? His offensive line is playing excellent. His running backs are good. His receivers are the best in the country, right?
Yeah,
Jeremiah
he's
Smith.
up there. He's up there now. Like he's finally up there. Yeah, he may be at some place at the top. I mean, Fernando Mendoza's right there. Ty Simpson's right there. Marcel Reed. Yeah, he may be getting to that love finally.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, they have Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, but Brandon Inniss went off in this game too. Like they're fantastic. I don't even know how to like describe. They're such a perfectly constructed team. If you could put all of the players in the right places, like they have no obvious weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I just don't have a visualization of somebody beating them, right? They haven't played a game where you're like, oh, somebody could do that and beat them. And it doesn't mean they can't be beaten.
Yeah.
But there's nothing so far that I've seen to suggest that.
No.
I'm basically ready to shoe them in as the national title team, the national title winners at this point, until somebody shows them struggling. And the only place you can go to is like week 1 versus Texas is where they kind of struggled on offense. But like you kind of chalk that up to like Julian Saint's first start, right? Against an elite D line. And even in that first start, they still moved the ball and played really well.
And he wasn't terrible, but
nobody could cover Jeremiah Smith on Texas either. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe does somebody's D line hold up to? I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I tell you what. I mean, I don't know what that first Saturday in December, the Saturday of the Big Ten championship. I don't even care who plays in the SEC championship. I know that's sacrilegious. I am looking forward to the Big Ten championship with Indiana, Ohio State.
Indiana.
That is the game. I'm getting my popcorn, my hot chocolate.
Oh man.
I mean, assuming Indiana doesn't, make a mistake.
Say what you will about Indiana. Kurt Cignetti does not lose those games. He is not Mario Cristobal. He puts the foot down and lets off the gas. And I'm going to be betting Indiana spread the rest of this season because holy cow, they eviscerated Maryland.
Yeah.
Obliterate 55-10. Wasn't even close.
Yeah.
They just put the foot down. They did not let up. And they're trying to get Mendoza the Heisman. They're going for it. And they honestly might win if Sayin wasn't there.
I mean, I think that's gonna be the problem. Mendoza probably does deserve it, but
the winner of the Big Ten championship game, in my opinion, will have the quarterback win the Heisman.
Yeah, that would be the game. I mean, the SEC is going to draw good ratings to the SEC, but I really could care less about Texas A&M, Alabama, and the SEC. I want to see Indiana, Ohio State. I think the whole country wants to see that game.
Yeah, and I think those are pretty clearly the two best quarterbacks in the country too.
The quarterback play in the SEC is dreadful. That quarterback play.
It's Ty Simpson, it's Marcel Reed, and
Gunnar Stockton's your third.
You got a top two, and there's a big gap.
I mean, you got Pavia, but Pavia does not throw like that.
Pavia is really good, but I guess you know what? I'll put Pavia as 3. You got top 3, and then a huge gap.
Huge gap, yeah. But man, you got some players between Dante Moore, Mendoza, Sayin, and Maeva from USC. That's some ballers there.
Those some guys. Those some guys for sure.
All right, well, let's wrap this up, man. I've been traveling all day.
Hey, we got to talk Big 12 for a little sec.
Okay,
right?
Talk quickly. Get your Baylor talk in. Get all your talk in.
Not even Baylor. We had 2 ranked. We had a big ranked Big 12 matchup. Cincinnati at Utah. Game day was there. Huge game, and bye playoff hopes for Cincinnati. They could not stop Devin Dempierre for Utah. They couldn't stop Utah's offense at all. Sorsby was lacking. I mean, he threw for 200 yards, but he was pretty terrible. He was 11 for 33. That's really bad. On the night, 1 TD, 1 interception. Utah's defense really bowed up against Cincinnati. They couldn't run some of those crossings, some of the mesh routes that they really have liked. Sorsby wasn't able to. They weren't able to get the QB run game going the way they wanted. I do think Utah's still a solid team, even though they're not quite a playoff contender this year. Shocker, Kyle Whittingham has a good, well-coached football team, right?
Yeah.
And if you kind of just look at the coaching, you probably could have seen this coming. Kyle Whittingham versus Scott Satterfield. I mean, there's a clear advantage there. Elsewhere in the Big 12, major upset. Ranked Houston loses to West Virginia. The people are asking, is Rich Rod back? Have the Rich Rod Mountaineers returned? And the answer is not this year, but next year. Next year.
We told you that. We told you.
But hey,
we get somebody.
Didn't we also say they would jump up and get somebody?
We did.
We did. And they jumped up and got Houston. Let me tell you, they did. They did. Houston. Also, bye-bye. They are no longer at the top of the Big 12. I guess technically, mathematically, Utah and Houston are not eliminated yet, or Utah and Cincinnati and Houston are not eliminated yet. If chaos happens above, they could win some tiebreakers, but no. The other thing, Arizona State beat Iowa State with Jeff Sims. Kenny Dillingham, just a solid coach. He's just a good coach. He's going to come up for a lot of these coaching job openings if he wants to leave Arizona State. It's alma mater. I don't know. Baylor scored 33 against UCF. I don't think it'll matter long term. I still think that they'll probably move on from Dave Aranda at the end of the season. But Texas Tech beat Kansas State soundly, setting up a huge matchup. BYU, Texas Tech next week, game day in Lubbock.
Top 10 teams.
Top 10 teams. And this is probably the linchpin deciding game in the Big 12 title race. It may be a rematch in the Big 12 title, depending on how things break down.
Yep.
But that's how it is in the Big 12. What else did we miss? I think that's
big.
You said Louisville struggled with Virginia Tech. Illinois handled Rutgers. Colorado's bad. They lost to Arizona by 40.
Yeah.
And hey, UConn, good for them. Jim Mora, they're bowl eligible.
They are. It's pretty impressive.
So,
October. So
Yep.
So all right, we'll have a game. We'll have a show this week. Probably Wednesday night, maybe.
Yeah. Let's say Wednesday night.
So, and we're getting into November. 4 weeks left of the regular season. We are gonna manage a lot to happen. So,
yeah, it's all coming.
Don't we have the first playoff rankings this Tuesday night from the ESPN?
Great.
We do. We'll have to talk about those.
Now we have to deal with this.
Yes. I'm sure they'll have the SEC ranked 1 to 12.
I'm sure it'll be very logically thought out and make a ton of sense. And,
get ready for Ed Duran for 15.
I'm sure 20 through 25 will not just be completely made up to justify whatever they wanted to do in the top 12.
We'll get exposed more SEC bias. Thank you very much. So
it's not just the SEC.
I know. So
all right.
That's a wrap. So
thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit all the buttons. Give us engagement. Thank you to our viewers who are watching live. If you want to watch live, subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. You'll get notified when we go live. And have a good night.
Yep. See you.